Hello and welcome to Arteagan Flight 001. This is your captain speaking. If you are traveling through another dimension, you are in the right seat. A dimension not only of sight and sound and mind, but a journey into a wondrous new vibratory frequency. We'd now like to tell you about some important safety features of this aircraft. The most important safety feature we have aboard this aircraft is your attention. Please buckle up, everyone. It is going to be a thrilling ride.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful week of life. I am Madam President of the Arteagan, Natalee, spelled Natalee, and I'm here to do the weekly horoscope covering March 15th to March 20th, 2021. First things first, on the 20th, this Saturday, we have the sun ingressing into Aries. This is the beginning of the Astrological New Year, the beginning of the Zodiacal New Year. So if you are an astrologer, if you are astrology obsessed, this really is a big deal because this week is kind of like the real closing out of 2020. And it has this blend because we're in a new moon, we're in the new moon in Pisces energy. It has this beautiful, uplifting, starry quality to it. So it's like really ending things on a new foot, on a fresh start. So, and honestly, personally, when we're in the middle of winter and it's New Year's and everything's dead and dying and there's snow everywhere, it just doesn't feel like the new beginning. It doesn't, like in The Edge when he's like, Anthony Hopkins, it doesn't feel north. It's kind of like that. But in this, I guess that's a terrible example actually, because anyway, so the reason why in New Year's everyone feels like, oh, they have to do something and make some big resolution is because it's Capricorn season. So it's a hard energy. It's like difficult. You're feeling unaccomplished and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like you're not like, you're all partied out from, boom, 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 Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and you're just like, whoa, I need to rein this in. I need to make some resolutions. I need to, so it's not like a real fresh start like this week is. This week, Saturday, next week is really going to feel like the new year. And it's kind of interesting because, what was going on last March? We had this super Capricorn stellium, lockdowns. I mean, it was the beginning of the Zodiacal New Year, and it started like a whole new annual rotation around, I don't want to get too, I'm going to try hard not to get too digressive. Anyway, so this is going to be a real fresh start that you're going to feel, and you're going to feel the new moon in Pisces to give you this idealistic, inspiring energy to propel you forward in confidence. And the confidence is going to be in your spiritual confidence. It's going to be in feeling your way forward. And what's really great about this week is that not only are you using your intuition forward about what to say, how to say it, what you want to go towards and lean into and, get your hands into, but we're going to be equipped with the words and the speech and the intellect and the drive and the physical accompaniment to what we're feeling inside. So, okay. So there's that. There's also this wonderful energy about embracing the future and really getting it going, because the next 9 weeks is when all of the planets are direct. We just had Mercury exiting the shadow from the retrograde from the beginning of the year, like last week. So these next 9 weeks are probably going to be the most forward, momentous, most important 9 weeks of the entire year. So let's get into it. Okay, so on Monday, the 15th, the moon's going to, be in Aries still. Mercury is going to enter Pisces on the 15th on Monday. So I would expect something to come to a close as far as communicative disabilities, communicative issues, understanding anything that you had been working through in the Aquarian area of your life, because that's the area that had this extended period from the beginning of the year till now that you needed to go back and redo, you needed to go back and take a look at, you needed to go back and reevaluate. And now you have that wisdom, now you have that perspective. So now Mercury, very strong in Aquarius, is moving into a sign that Mercury isn't able to be so analytical, which Mercury was still kind of going backtrack and just getting reoriented with all the Mercury retrograde energy. So it's not necessarily going to be a bad shift, in my opinion. I really believe if you're comfortable following your intuition, if you're comfortable speaking from your heart, if you're comfortable being creative, if you're comfortable speaking about your creativity, then you're going to love this. You're going to love this Mercury in Pisces. It's only when you are fearful, it's only when you are insecure about speaking about your ideas. You know, if you're working on a creative project with someone and you're really afraid to speak an idea because you're afraid someone might not like it, you might feel more insecure about that, even though it might be a great idea. And even if it's not a great idea, it might be useful to the conversation. It might, trigger someone else to have a great idea. And, I would just say don't be so attached to your opinions. Don't be so attached to your I would even say thoughts and ideas, and I just wouldn't, I would let it flow. I would really let it flow. So if you're needing to innovate a solution to a problem, the Mercury in Pisces energy is going to be more about feeling your way through, feeling your way forward, what feels good, what feels right, and being able to, Mercury is the planet about how do we take in information through all of our senses, sight, smell, touch, hearing, psychic ability, whatever. And when Mercury's in Pisces, the psychic ability or the intuitive ability and the intuitive faculty is what gets the forefront. So that's what you're going to want to use. And so it's almost like you can throw a fish back in the water. You can throw, don't put your identity on these opinions, on what other people are saying, on what you're reading. Don't get too attached to that, because Mercury in Pisces it can be very spiritual and it can be very creative, but the lower vibration of that is definitely deception, self-delusion, and lying. And if you want to hear what I channeled about that, go ahead and watch the Pisces New Moon. That was that 20 minutes took so much of psychic channeling and doing all the writing and really that whole thing. That was a special big push that was giving psychic birth to some really deep messages. So if you got a lot out of that, that was definitely for you. That was a special energy for you. So this is, again, a knowing through feeling. So I really feel like it is going to be a better Mercury period. So if you're not comfortable with knowing through feeling and trusting your intuition, then this is a great transit to get more comfortable with that part of yourself, especially speaking from the heart and having confidence in what your heart is saying and what your heart is telling you to say. And even if you get I don't want to say rejected, but even if it doesn't go the way, the ideal way that you want it to go, you always want to feel good that you gave honor to your heart, that you honored your personal integrity, and that's all you have at the end of the day. And that's what you're going to have at the end of your life. No one's been with you for your entire life like you've been with you your entire life. So just focus on the self-integrity. And hopefully that helps to dissuade some of your fears about, anything else. On Tuesday, we have the moon void of course until about 4 a.m. PST time. And then the moon ingresses into Taurus. There's a lot happening here. We have the moon sextiling Mercury. We have the sun in Pisces sextiling Pluto and Capricorn. We have Mars in Gemini sextiling Chiron in Aries. We have that moon in Taurus conjuncting, moving into a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. So this is cool. You might even be feeling this on Monday, this Tuesday energy. But let's talk about it on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, there's a lot of different variables kind of coming together in this amalgamation of energies that are helping illuminate and heal you. There's this happy and transformative, this powerfully transformative surprise that's coming through for you. Now, what I like about this is that you are also given the discernment. You're also given the esoteric sort of wisdom, this like knowing behind the knowing. And that's going to help you with your words, because this is an interesting week, because it's like the feelings are so big and so deep. And we also have a lot of mental energy and a lot of forward momentous energy of the acting principle. So if you can balance these two juggernauts of sources of energy, then you can really use this. I just want you guys to just like go for it and just like go after what you want and like just dream the biggest dreams for yourselves. I just want you to make the absolute most of your lives, and you can really do that this week. You really can. You just have to try. You just have to try really hard. Okay, that's all. You just have to really, really, really try. Okay, so back to Tuesday. So like I said, illuminating, healing, transformative, whatever you're doing, whatever you're talking about is going to be good for your personal soul, your personal energy fields, as well as pushing your desires forward. If you have an ambition, if you have a goal, if you have, your eye on the prize, if you just, lean into the awkwardness or any kind of uncomfortability or anything that's making you shy or insecure or fearful, or that's making you feel less confident in taking the lead in some way, shape, or form, you're going to get through that. You're going to come out the other side of that, and then you just run like your baby walking for the first time. Run, they're going off the training reels and they're on the two wheels. Go, and they're, so it's like just let your spirit do that, and you give your spirit the permission to do that when you move through something that's a little bit awkward for yourself, or close some cognitive dissonance, or go through a little ego death and eat a little humble pie, or accept some denial that you've been denying about yourself, or how you're feeling or what you're thinking, and you kind of push through that uncomfortability. You're giving yourself the permission to really be free, and really be free of that which was actually controlling you. Okay, so on Wednesday, the moon's going to be in Taurus. Lovely. Okay, so the moon is also going to square the moon's going to be conjunct Uranus and square Saturn in Aquarius, and then square Jupiter in Aquarius. Okay, but what's interesting about this on Wednesday, it's around Wednesday. When I say like the actual day, just I'll say like around that day, depending on if you're watching me in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, if you're on a different planet watching me, if you're an alien watching me in your little spaceship. So on Wednesday, around Wednesday the 17th, Mars is actually going to cover the point of the November 30th eclipse that we had. So think about what you were thinking about, or what the energy was like at the end of November, because it's this entire year probably has felt for a lot of people like maybe even a decade. Just like a lot of wisdom and like a lot of growth experiences packed into March 2020 to March 2021. So even from November, end of November, beginning of December till now, Mars going over this point is like, I feel like it's giving you this visceral feeling about it, a visceral feeling about, I couldn't stand my roommate at the end of November, and now I have a whole new living arrangement, or I have a new roommate, or my spouse and I were having a really hard time, and we just couldn't. There was a breaking point at the end of November, and now we're starting to come through the other side because one of us has had an ego death and accepted that we need to get help, or my kid and I were having a difficult time, or I was having a difficult time with my children's mother, father, and now we're at the other side of it. So you have this different perspective. This is an energy, this moon is still in the new moon energy, like this new dark moon. Remember, things are going to be coming to light and more will be revealed and more is going to keep happening. But activating this square, this is really a huge part to do with what you're doing differently this year. There was something at the end of last year that wasn't working for you. And you bit through it. You got through it. We all got through it. You keep on keeping on. And now you have this benefit of the wisdom. You have the benefit of that biting kind of experience of going through what wasn't working, and now you can change what wasn't working and make a different reality for yourself. But you had to identify, you had to be real with yourself, and you had to go through that experience to see what wasn't working in order to see the pattern, identify it, and then know exactly, oh, that's what was upsetting me. This is why I wake up agitated every morning, or this is why I'm feeling sick all the time, or this is why I have this health issue, or whatever it is. So Wednesday I like a lot because this is positive. This is positively doing things differently. And this is Wednesday, around Wednesday activates the theme of all of 2021, which is all about doing things differently in order to bring you into a real kind of better alignment with who you really are and what you're really here to experience. But it's in making the changes. I'm getting that scene in The Matrix where because I love that. Matrix, my favorite freaking movie ever. But later on, I love that Neo is very free will oriented. He's very much and the Oracle knows that. She's like, but you don't believe in any of this crap, but she says, you're not here to make the choice. You've already made the choice. You're here to understand why you made the choice. Trying so hard not to digress right now and try to stay focused with you guys. But that's really kind of perfectly fitting that analogy. So you're doing things differently this year, and you needed the life experience, the lived experience, in order to understand why you're doing things differently this year. Sorry. So on Thursday we have, moon's void, of course, later in the afternoon, only for a couple hours, no biggie. We do have, so on Thursday we have Venus at 26 degrees of Pisces sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. This is pretty sexy. This is pretty smoldering. This is so some attractions, it's like a big bang, right? It's like a big explosion. This is a slow burn. This is smoldering. So when I was in wilderness, when I was super into primitive living and wilderness survival, I went up to Canada, into the forest with a bunch of big manly men, and lived out there and learned how to survive with just my knife and my little bag. And so one of the first things that we learned is fire, how to make fire, how to sustain fire, how to get all the different stages, the tinder, the kindling, the wood, and we made little smudge bowls. And basically what that is to create fire that you can take with you, so that whenever you need to make a big fire, you just get your little smudge bowl and then you just, it's right there. Acorns, okay? So I can't help it. So this Venus sextiling Pluto is like that. There's something that's there's an ember. There's an ember here. And I just really feel just pay attention to that. Really pay attention to your intuition and what you're feeling. Don't gaslight yourself about what you're feeling. Don't gaslight yourself about what your intuition is trying to tell you about your own life. Because also on that day, the moon in Taurus is sextiling Venus in Pisces. after that void period, after that little few hours where, the moon is just sort of like, then she ingresses into Gemini. And right when she gets into Gemini, she's squaring Mercury and Pisces. I'm okay with that because the moon is in the sign that Mercury is like so great in, right? Mercury is a ruler of Gemini. So the moon being in Gemini, we're okay with that. And even in the square to Mercury and Pisces, that might just put a little bit of pressure on you listening to your intuition when it's telling you to speak from your heart. That's all. And I don't think you're going to feel it in a very big, tense way. I feel like it's just going to be dynamic energy to get it done. Okay? So Love Thursday, there can be any kind of connecting that you're doing. And if you're connecting with anyone about anything, even if it's a platonic thing over work, a work project, if you guys are merchandising the store and you're going to put things in the windows and you guys are dressing the forms and you're like, okay, so they're all going to the same party. What are you going to wear? What are you going to how are you going to dress these 3 girls or whatever? Even if you're talking to your associates or your managers about that, this Venus sextiling Pluto, that smoldering energy, that slow burn, that's going to carry that relationship forward. That's like a bonding period, a bonding moment with those people at work where it's like, okay, we're doing this creative thing, we're dressing these forms, and you're getting into that space. And that bond is bringing you two together in a very meaningful way. So, it's not all, I just want you guys to just apply it in your life, however it resonates. But just listen to your intuition and speak from your heart. Really give a voice to what you are channeling. We are all channeling energy all the time. It's not just me over here. We are all creating new karma all the time. Every moment we're living life, we're creating new karma. And that's when, we've been all talking, all the astrologers, everyone on YouTube talking about these difficult transits of the last year. Now we get to talk about really good transits. Now we get to talk about the future. So what kind of karma are you going to write for your future? How are you going to contribute to the redemption of man and the world if you choose? Okay, I won't digress anymore. So on Friday, the moon will be in Gemini. And okay, this is a lot going on too. So around Friday, the 19th, the moon's in Gemini. The moon will be conjuncting Mars, squaring Saturn-ish in Aquarius. The moon will also conjunct the North Node in Gemini. Now, Mars is going to, I think around the end of the month, like actually around that full moon in Libra on Sunday the 28th, that's going to be a big deal. So on Friday, the tone changes. And this is the thing, now that we're in like this airy age of Aquarius, the only last time that we had this big air energy emphasis was actually when Diana and Charles got married, when there was the Saturn, the Saturn conjunction in Libra. There was like a Saturn, maybe it was Saturn, Jupiter in Libra. So this energy is trying to change our minds and trying to change our perceptions and trying to really open us up for the next level of existence for humanity, the next evolutionary consciousness, the next jump. Okay? So with the moon in Gemini conjuncting Mars, this is a lot of forward momentum to put your emotional commitment, your emotional, it's like you're intellectualizing your emotions and you're emotionalizing your intellect, and you've got to trust yourself and let yourself go with it, because it's uniting with your passion and it's uniting with your ability to do things and get things done and drive things forward. And so I feel like with Mars conjuncting that North Node in Gemini, all of us are going to have a lot of different things on our plates. I just saw a big plate of pastries, like all the different, like a smorgasbord of all the different pastries and petit fours and like all that. It's delicious looking. But be that as it may, we have to do it right. We have to be thorough. We have to take our time and try not to do too much at once, because then we're going to burn out. Then we're going to get ourselves burned out. And we have to conserve our energy and just make sure that we're doing it thoroughly, crossing our T's and dotting our I's, and just making sure that it's getting done the right way. But I love the energy. I love how excited we're feeling by Friday. And just know that you're on the right track. You're on the right track. You are absolutely. You're going to have a lot of different things. There's going to be a lot of little different things happening that you got going on, a lot of little pans in the fire. And there's going to be little things that drop here and there in order to make sure that you are giving adequate time and focus to your top priorities. So don't feel bad if not everything gets done by Friday, end of day. You're going to want to go play anyway. I don't try to rhyme. It just happens sometimes. But just know that you are on the right track. And then by the time, what is that? Sorry. By the time Saturday gets here on the 20th, we will have the sun ingressing into Aries. Happy New Year. Happy Zodiacal New Year, everybody. Razzle dazzle. So we also have the moon in Gemini trining Jupiter in Aquarius, squaring Neptune in Pisces. All I'm getting from this is that there's a lot of everything wonderful. I don't know what you guys are going to be using all this beautiful, wonderful energy this week to do, but it looks fabulous. It looks fantastic. It looks glorious. It looks absolutely fun. Oh, that's right. So on Sunday, we have the waxing, gaining in light quarter moon in... That was so Geminian of me. Venus is going to be ingressing into Aries. Yes, there's a quarter moon. It's going to be in Cancer. There's going to be this major ingress of Venus moving into Aries and going to be cazimi with the sun, which means that the sun's going to be so bright and burning because it's a big ball of fire that Venus is going to just get burnt to a crispy piece of bacon. And okay, she's not super strong in Aries. Venus is like the Empress card. Okay, first of all, let me get through the other aspects. So there's that. There's also the moon. When the moon ingresses into Cancer, will be trining Mercury, which will be in the beginning of Pisces, squaring this Venus, which is in the beginning of Aries. We'll have Venus sextiling Mars. We'll have Mars trining Saturn. We'll have Mercury sextiling Uranus. There's something really incredible Sunday, over this weekend actually. It's really, really great. Really, really positive. And here's what's going on. There's attraction. If there was let's go back to Friday. So if you didn't get through something on Friday, if there was something left undone, if there was something left unfinished, maybe you're negotiating something this week and you're kind of just going back and forth and maybe you don't get the job done Friday. Something's going on Sunday where you innovate the solution, you innovate the perfect wording, you innovate the perfect clause, you innovate the perfect phrase or whatever it happens to be. Follow your heart, tune into your intuition for the answer. It will come to you. But take the pressure off. You've really got to take the pressure off of yourself. There is no pressure. All pressure is just an illusion. And when you give like that mind trick to yourself and take that pressure off and surrender that pressure, give it up to the cosmos, the universe, whatever, then you allow yourself to receive and perceive the answer. So back to Sunday. Sunday, you can give structure to the solution. You're giving structure to what the last week you were talking about, moving forward, developing. It gets really structured by Sunday. And here's what I love, okay? Words and feelings, I'm telling you, that's the best that you're going to be able to work with all of this energy over this, Monday to Monday, is being able to have confidence in intellectualizing your emotions and emotionalizing your intellect and having confidence in what you're doing in your own energies, because there's going to be massive push forward in physical, mundane reality. You're going to be actually going places, like physical places. You're going to be writing things, agreeing to things, signing things. deleting things, sending things in, turning papers in, and hiring people, and like all of that, interviewing people, everything. You're going to be taking actions as well. So you need to be confident in what you're thinking. You're going to be needing to be confident in what you're feeling. Don't gaslight yourself. Back to Sunday. So on Sunday, what I like about this is that it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. We have Venus moving into Aries, and yes, she's not that like happy in Aries. Like I was saying, she's like the Empress card in the tarot, where she kind of just wants to sit back and she wants to attract what she wants to her without going. That's the masculine principle, is to like get pointy and like go and like get something and bring it back to itself. Okay. Venus is just like, well, come catch me, come catch me, come catch me. We're coming from Venus being in Pisces, where getting what we want or learning more about what feels good was all intuitive based. There was something kind of ethereal about it. There was something sort of like this gossamer energy, where Gossamer was my favorite Looney Tune, by the way, because he's like a big sad bread monster. I have a thing for misunderstood monsters. And so what I like about Venus in Aries is that hopefully you're comfortable with this energy. Otherwise, you're going to be oversensitive and it's not going to work. She's kind of bratty. A little bit of a brat. The way she gets things is kind of like not being annoying, but and not like teasing like in a mean way, you know, don't be mean, but yeah, she's kind of bratty. She's kind of like spicy and feisty, and what I'm really getting with this is witty banter. So I mean, there could be wordplay, there could be like you and somebody else going back and forth, you know, taking that example with the forms. You know, the girls dressing the forms for the window, they're merchandising, they're putting products out on display. You know, maybe there's a witty back and forth between them over the weekend or into next week. Maybe they're opening the store, maybe they're having a walkthrough, maybe, you know, regional office is coming to see everything and they have to make the store manager look good and whatever. And maybe they're kind of going back and forth about, well, what party are they going to? What are their names? And it's Maisie, Carla, and Appleberry. I don't know. You know, it's like, and they kind of like joke between each other, and it's like, that's part of the smolder. That's part of the slow burn. So hopefully you guys are comfortable with your words. Hopefully you guys are comfortable channeling your energies out. Hopefully you guys are comfortable aligning, thinking, feeling, speaking. You really just have to stay in your own integrity. If you stay aligned to love, truth, and integrity, you're going to be A-okay. You really will. Because some of this is like, okay, so what you're going to see like out there and in your life and in your world, you're going to see people kind of speaking from their unconscious, and it's not pretty, and it's like kind of ugly, and it's unflattering. So if you keep your spiritual cup full, if you keep your own spiritual meditative practices, if you stay aligned to your truth, love, and integrity, then you're much less in danger of putting your reputation at stake. You're much less in danger of saying something that you regret or doing something that you regret, because Geminian energy, Piscean energy, these are energies where words going back and forth, it's like you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of posturing, defensiveness, vindictiveness, selfishness. You're going to see a lot of selfishness. You're going to see a lot of deception, self-delusion, you know, people trying to delude and manipulate other people. But, you know, that's them. That's not your world. You're creating your world. Go back to watching the Pisces New Moon, the timeless transcendence that I did. Okay? Because we're all here to try and create our own little heaven on earth, our own Camelot. And I want to help you guys do that. So that's why I only gave like 0.2 seconds to that negative part, and all of the majority of my things are going to be positive, because I'm empowering you guys to create that here. Okay? And that's the most important thing, is where your attention goes and your focus. That's what counts. So if you're putting focus into anyone else doing whatever they're doing, that's them. That's their business. It's their karma. You focus on having fun, being creative, being spiritual. You're going to have all these different little projects. You want to be so busy and consumed with doing what you love and speaking from your heart to other people that are speaking from their heart and doing what they love, that all of that other stuff is just noise. And that's just like the world. It just matters that you're creating your world, and that energy will multiply. Okay. Monday the 22nd, the moon's going to be in Cancer, but this is like the Mars trining Saturn energy kind of going into Monday. So there's major structure. You are so powered up, baby. You are so like ready for this. You're so ready to it's like you want to make the context set up. You want to set up your context so that the content you can fill it up with content. It's like, she's showing me like a mom decorating like a baby room. You know, you're putting the things, and you're doing the things, right, to set up this room for your baby. That's the context. Okay, so and so we're gonna have a baby. The content is the baby itself, is the rocking chair. You know, the rocking chair is the context. The content is mom or dad sitting in that rocking chair with their baby, and those moments and those feelings and those energies that they're going to share there. So Mars trining Saturn, you're making you're driven. You are driven, and you're going 100 miles. You're really going to make that context, because the rest of the year you're going to be filling it with content. And these 9 weeks are about the momentum to create that context, and you're doing it differently, and that's what counts. And you're doing it differently because of what you're channeling, your intuition, your thoughts are bringing together, and what your heart is telling you that you need. Swish. Okay, guys, I love you forever and ever and always. I will see you on Wednesday. I'll see you on Wednesday for our weekly tarot. Toodaloo, darlings. Until then, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, you beautiful souls. Mwah.